What's going on, everybody? Thank you guys so much for watching the show. Wanted to talk to you about our friends over at Prize Picks, the best place to win cash while watching sports. This app is really easy to use. You just pick more or less on a few player stats, and you could win up to 1,000 times your cash on a single lineup. Best of all, Prize Picks will give you $50 when you play your first $5 lineup. Win or lose, you'll get $50 for playing. Use the promo code PFF and download the app now. And Dalton, your New York Jets select offensive tackle Armand Membou from University of Missouri. What do we think here, as this says the pick?
I think the first thing you think about is Aaron Glenn and his offensive coordinator, Tanner Engstrand, coming from Detroit, where the start of the Detroit Lions resurgence was on the offensive line, right? 2021, taking Penei Sewell, fifth overall, over Jamar Chase. They wanted to build in the trenches. Aaron Glenn is sending that same message here. And look, the funny thing about last offseason with the Jets is I kept saying, hey, you fix this offensive line, they're going to be pretty good. They actually did fix the offensive line with Olu Fashanu, John Simpson, right? Tyron Smith was in for a bit, and everything else went wrong because other parts of the team fell apart. But now you look at this front five for the Jets going into this season: Olu Fashanu, John Simpson, Joe Tippmann, Elijah Vera Tucker, Armand Membou. That's a nice young offensive line to work with. And with Justin Fields as the quarterback, Breece Hall, despite some trade rumors there's been recently, I don't know that that's actually going to happen. Braylon Allen in the backfield as well. Still need some weapons on the outside to work with. There was some thought about Tyler Warren here, but they're going to be running the football a whole lot in New York, just like they were in Detroit. I think that's what Aaron Glenn wants to do, is bring that same brand of physicality that Dan Campbell brought to Detroit and that team, bring it right over to the Jets, and it starts on the offensive line.
With Breece Hall as the back, right? With Breece Hall as the back, right?
I would assume so. I don't see a reason to replace him.
With Breece Hall as the back, right?
I don't run the team, man. I don't run the show over there. Listen, I don't know. They're going to focus also on Garrett Wilson and Sauce Gardner as far as extensions.
Of course.
We're already going into a fourth year of Breece Hall, and he was a second-round pick. So you're in the last year of this contract. Mm-hmm. I don't think they would trade him. I do think it's possible they look deeper into this class, maybe rounds 3, 4, 5, for another back to go with him, another back to go with Braylon Allen, and get some sort of. Aaron Glenn has talked about he does want to work this as a committee. If that means Hall is there in that committee, then fine. But I think you do have an interesting situation in their backfield. I don't think
an offensive line makes your team quarterback proof, but certainly they are doing what they need to do to make sure their offense is as position-proof as possible, right? Doesn't matter who's our quarterback, our offensive line's phenomenal. Doesn't matter who our running back is, our offensive line's phenomenal. Doesn't matter who the receivers are and when they create that separation, whether it's immediately, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, 4 seconds, 5 seconds into the route. Our offensive line's phenomenal, and we feel good about it. So it does feel like the Detroit blueprint of how we are building a winner here and just making sure the offensive line is as good as it can possibly be. What do you think about this?
I love it. You guys know, and we're already seeing a run on tackles here. We've got 2 in the top 7.
Yep.
And Membou probably didn't get drafted by New England because he was a right tackle. Obviously, the Jets don't care. But you're talking about a guy 6'4", 332 pounds that ran a 4.91. And when you watch his pass protection, when you watch his kick steps, it's like, I mean, it's as smooth as it can be.
Yeah.
When you're talking about outside zone and you got somebody playing the tackle position, the ability to get outside and hook those players and get your backs up the boundary, I think this is a tremendous pick for the Jets. The Jets did something that, to some extent, I admire. I mean, they get rid of their superstar quarterback and receiver and just go, you know what, we're going to build it. Just like they did in Detroit. That's what they did. They said, this is going to be a little painful, but we're going to build it the right way. We're going to build it from inside out with the offensive line. I really, really like what the Jets have done here.
You can see a little sneak peek of the PFF draft guide there on the left-hand side of the screen. If you guys don't have a PFF Plus subscription, now you can go get one for 25% off using the promo code DRAFT25. That'll get you the full PFF draft guide and so much more. Max, go.
And by the way, Aaron Glenn was a part of a Detroit Lions organization back in 2021 with the 7th overall pick. They took Penei Sewell, plays right tackle for them. That worked out pretty well for Detroit.
Not bad.
Chris mentioned it before too. The athleticism. My favorite stat I found for Armand Membou. There have been 4 offensive linemen since 2003. There were 315 or more pounds, ran a sub-5 second 40, and jumped 30 inches or more in the vertical. Armand Membou, Will Campbell, both won top 7 in this draft. Trent Williams, Tristan Wirfs.
Good players.
Not bad.
2 first-ballot Hall of Famers.
Pretty great.
2 guys who just got drafted.
Well, and you consider, and I think this number is right, no sacks or hits on 411 pass protections last year. That's how you begin to build a franchise, and that's how you take a young quarterback and build confidence with him.
And the weight adjusted athleticism scores are fantastic for this guy. He was 88th percentile in total weight, which you sort of talked to about there. And then the combination of 79th percentile 10-yard split, 96th percentile 40-yard dash, 72nd percentile vertical jump, 74th percentile broad jump. So explosive and just great as an athlete at over 330 pounds. It's just, it was a marvel to see what he was able to do at the combine.
And there are only 2 tackles in the country this last year with 85 plus grades as pass blocker and run blocker. One of them was Wyatt Milam, who's probably going to be an interior guy when he's here tomorrow night. But the other one's Armand Membou, who's an actual tackle. So I think Armand Membou was fantastic this past year. He's one of the biggest breakout stars in college football, and goes here to the Jets.
And Chris mentioned a potential scheme fit as well. He mentioned the outside zone ability. And if Tanner Engstrand is going to run this offense the same way that Ben Johnson did in Detroit, that's a top 4 outside zone rate. So you're getting that, not only are you getting the culture, you're getting physical, but you're getting the right player in the right scheme.